Enter into the dangerous dungeons of myth as a mighty hero and stand against the darkness. Visit the Myth Hub on beastsofwar.com and begin your story. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, myself and Sean are back for Exploring Exodus. Right, Sean, I'm seeing a big layout of the Enlightened faction here. So what's the plan for this one?
So what we're going to do is we're going to build a list for the Enlightened.
Okay.
We're going to start out at a $500 Posse list, and then we're going to move our way up all the way to $1,000.
Okay, so, all right, well, where do we start? What's the first thing I need to be grabbing here?
So the first thing is let's go ahead and let's get Dr. Carpathian in here.
Okay.
He's our boss.
So this would be our boss here, Dr. Carpathian.
Got Dr. Carpathian. Bosses are going to be kind of your linchpin to your list. They're going to set the stage for how you want to build, certain things you may want to include, not include in it.
Okay, so basically, they basically put the stamp on the faction. Here's sort of the channels you're going to want to start to look at to actually work with him and create synergies and such.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And, there's a lot of different things that are going on with all the different characters. The best way to know what your character does is you're going to want to look at the card. You're going to want to check everything out. So if we have the card here, we'll just go ahead and go over quickly. So if we start at the top, we have the cost. And that's going to be the amount of dollars you have to spend to be able to bring that character into your posse. Then we go to Q, which is quickness. That's the amount of inches a model can move every time it makes a move action. Then we have AP. That's going to be the amount of action points that model has every time it activates. M will be marksmanship. So that on a D10 roll is what you need to meet or beat to successfully make a shoot action. PA is going to be your physical ability. The D10 roll you need to meet or beat to successfully be able to make melee attacks, climb, or do dexterous action. S is going to be strikes, so the amount of melee attacks they get with every weapon they use in combat. A is going to be your armor bonus for armor rolls. C will be your courage. So if there's a break test, something scary, they want to know if they're going to run or not, you're going to use that number. Influence is the amount of influence they add to the pool that you use every turn.
Yeah, we will be doing a video about that shortly.
Yep. Halo is going to be the effective combat range of that model. Then at the bottom, we have the weapons. Generally on the left side of the card, you're going to see the ranged weapons, and on the right side, you'll have the melee weapons. Just to go over, basically what's in these boxes. Generally, you'll have the name at the top. It'll say what type it is. In here, it's a two-hand ranged. It'll have the range, which on here is 24. You'll have the power, which on here is 12. Rate of fire, so that's the amount of attacks, or the amount of bullets, basically, that a weapon's going to fire at any point in time. And then you'll have the universal special rolls that weapon has.
Yeah, and again, we will have a single video to let us go through all of those, because there are quite a few.
There are quite a few.
And some of them do some really cool and nasty tricks.
Definitely. And then once you flip the card around to the back, every model is going to have a set of special rolls that's unique to it. So Dr. Carpathian has things that make him different than any other model in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, whenever it comes to your bosses, your sidekicks, and your underbosses, I think we were discussing beforehand, there seems to be 3 types.
Yeah.
So you'll have your combat type. He's either going to shoot or he's going to fight in melee. You've got your support type. This guy's going to be throwing out buffs all across your posse and basically make everybody better, stronger, more worth their points.
Definitely.
You then get the hybrids, who are going to do a little bit of both. They're not going to be absolutely amazing at either one, but they'll be able to do enough of both to make them worthwhile.
Yep.
So that's Dr. Carpathian.
And Dr. Carpathian, he kind of fits a little bit between a support and a hybrid. A lot of times he'll kind of thread the needle a little bit more towards a hybrid. But he does have some very cool supportive things that help the faction and help an overall Enlightened list. He does like to have some animations. Let's go ahead and toss some of those in there.
Okay,
so let's grab 2 of the long range ones.
The ranged white type, I believe that's these guys on the little spidery legs.
Yep, on the spidery legs.
Ones.
Yep, and then we'll grab 2 of the close combat.
Yeah, 2 close combat. So that's the little guys on the little buggy wheel.
Yep.
And what else will we need to start off this faction? Because I don't think that's 500 points.
Yeah, it's definitely not $500 yet. So what we're going to do to toss in, add a little bit mobility, kind of a good support piece. Let's add Thomas Edison.
Okay, so we have Thomas Edison. Now you're saying mobility, but he's just a guy on foot. Does he have some nasty tricks or something he can do?
So what he does is he can actually, use a template weapon. Okay. Instead of hurting people with that template weapon, he moves them around.
Oh, so right. When we'll have to come back for a closer look at that.
Exactly.
That sounds like a cool little trick you can play. Okay, anything else to get us to 500 points?
And then one more thing, we're going to toss an Iron Horse in there.
Okay, so Iron Horse, that's one of these super cool jet bikes, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And so now right here, you've got a 500 Posse dollar force that you can start using, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to, have a bit of that mobility, even more mobility with the Iron Horse.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a decent amount of bodies you can throw down the field. Yeah. And some cool synergy as well.
So for your first few games, you're looking at a 7 model count. So you're not going to be overtaxed with trying to remember special rules and stuff from this, guys.
Yep.
It's just going to be a light, easy faction to sort of break you into the world of Wild West Exodus.
Exactly. And you get a little bit of everything, too. I mean, it only has, 2 characters, so there's not a lot of special rules, like you were saying. Yeah. Not a whole lot of stuff you have to memorize.
Yeah, but there is still cool stuff you can do.
There is definitely some cool stuff.
Okay.
So then the next step is we want to start expanding a bit, right?
Yeah, I want to go big.
You want to go big?
In this game, it's bet big or go home.
Okay.
So I'm going to move the Iron Horse out to one side, and I want to slam the Doomsday in.
Slam that Doomsday right into here.
Yeah.
And just one more thing to toss over on the side. Let's grab one more of those close combat animations.
All right, so that's not costing me another 250 to hit the 500?
Nope. So now you're going to be, boom. You're at 750 right here.
Oh, right, 750 now.
Yep, 750. So now we've taken the next step. We've added another 250 on there, so we're at 750.
Is it a wise tactic to actually just throw something super big and heavy in like that early?
So sometimes what can happen in the lower amounts of dollars is you can have something like that and they just have the answer to it right away, and you just bummer,
but I want it because it's a cool big mini. I mean, look at how amazing this thing looks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's got all these crazy metal plates all over it. These big,
it's got gigantic miniguns. That's all I care about. Gigantic miniguns.
It's got that kind of stagecoach look to it.
Yeah,
but it's still pretty high tech.
Yeah,
it's definitely not just like
it's a big brute of a machine.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, there might be an answer to it in your opponent's force right away, because he'll be fit to buy lots of little stuff that can maybe do damage to you. But you have to admit, having a big centerpiece like that in your army early on is going to make you feel good about playing your force.
Definitely. And it'll give you a really fun project to paint.
Yeah.
You can, there's a lot of areas on here where you could freehand, do really cool stuff, even do some conversions, start to customize it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if our good friend Roma got his hands on these, our resident painter.
Oh, definitely.
This would be entirely done in non-metallic metals. He would be blind by the end of it, but it would be entirely in non-metallic metals.
But then let's take the next step.
Okay, so
let's go all the way to 1,000.
Okay, we're going all the way to 1,000. Now, I'm guessing this thing is a big-ass chunk of points.
So it's a lot of points. It's 225 Posse dollars to include it in your list.
Okay.
So that's a lot. You're really
it's a heavy
putting
investment.
A lot of eggs into a basket.
Yeah.
It is a transport, though.
Okay, well, that is good, because you can use that with Edison and some of the creations.
Definitely. Maybe we want some more stuff that won't ride in that transport, but it's going to work its way up the field. Maybe pull some of that fire away from from your big Doomsday.
Just give him more targets to deal with.
Exactly.
Okay.
And let's have them be some more fast moving things. So let's toss 2 more Iron Horses in there.
Okay, so 2 more of the super cool jet bikes going into the list. Okay, so
and then we'll equip them with a couple of different weapons. So one's going to have rocket pods, one will have mini cannon.
Okay.
One's going to have a Gatling gun. That way,
so we've now got a nice spread of fire weapons.
Yep,
firepower options. Anyway.
Yep. So some are going to deal with infantry, other heavy armor. So that way, everything's taken care of.
Okay, cool.
And then we want to deal with even more infantry. So let's take the Gatling gun thing to the next level. Let's add creation number 13 in there.
Okay, creation number 13. Now, he looks like basically a big, gigantic, super mutated guy who's just been buffed up to hell, lobotomized, and told, right, this is your gun, I am your friend, they are not your friend.
Go shoot them. Go shoot them.
Go shoot them.
And that's what he does. He's got an RJ canister stuffed into the back of his brain, and he just goes and shoots things.
Okay, there has to be a brilliant story behind that. I mean, I'm getting a pint with you tonight to actually hear about this.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, Dr. Carpathian, he knows what he's doing, mostly.
Mostly.
So.
Okay. This sounds like me if I was experimenting like this. I swear I know what I'm doing, gents. Right, let's stuff that in there, see what it does.
Exactly. And then hand him a big old Gatling gun and send him off to battle.
Yeah.
Then, he's going to be somebody that I think they're going to start targeting.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So then let's just add a few more little scrambly guys in there.
Okay.
To keep spreading out that firepower even more.
I think we have about another 5 of the little reanimated guys.
Yep. So we'll do 3 ranged and 2 more of the close combat
guys right here.
Yep.
So that'll give us a little more firepower. And just because we all love the stabby goodness, let's go for 2 more of the close combat guys.
And there you go. Now you have a $1,000 Posse list that you can, kind of take on anyone. You have big armor. You have things that are able to deal with big armor. You have a lot of little guys that can kind of spread their
and you have
power
a couple of characters that are going to let you do cool stuff and actually really add a little bit of flavor to your list.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an Enlightened $1,000 list.
Yes.
I like. It's not huge, but it's big. It feels
and there's a
like
lot
it's got
of
a bit
cool
of weight.
painting and hobbying that can be done.
Yeah, and my favorite bit is, you see if I lose the game, this thing's actually a fair weight, so I might be able to club my opponent to death if I lose. Okay, so I think we'll move on here. Guys, we're going to be moving across to Backstage now, so if you're not a Backstage member, come across to beastsofwar.com, sign up, and basically we're going to be having another conversation about Wild West Exodus today.
Yep.
Right, Sean, what do you think we're going to talk about today?
So we're going to talk about making specific meta choices against certain opponents. There might be things that you need to deal with, whether it's armor, infantry, whatever it may be. You want to be able to take that
All right,
on.
so I know my buddy loves his horde forces. I want something that's just going to have lead flying everywhere and just take him down.
Yep.
All right, well, guys, myself and Sean are going to move on to Backstage. Come across, have a look, and we'll see you again later.
See you next time.
Right, so we all know Dr. Carpathian's in this list. Now, I faced him last night, and he was an absolute pain in the... I'm not going to curse. I promised myself I wouldn't curse.
Curse.
He will not make me angry again.
Okay.
But he's an absolute pain, because he's got this big rifle on him, which does irradiate it.
Yep.
And that just hurts, because it's a 5-inch blast on this rifle. How do I kill him, and kill him fast?
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com.